If you think you're brave enough to pull off a heist in a creepy museum with your friends, you might want to watch this Dark Hours video first, because very soon you'll realize you've gone from treasure hunters to prey. And no, we're not talking about the cops. Trust me, they'd be the least of your problems here. Actually, you might wish you could call them.
Hey gamers, welcome back to Multiplayer Mayhem, the channel where you can discover new games to play with your friends. Let's dive headfirst into this new review.
You and your friends are professional thieves with plenty of successful heists behind you, but this time, you've set your sights on a priceless treasure locked inside an ancient and very sinister museum. Everything seems to go as planned until you realize something's very wrong. Someone, or something, has trapped you inside the museum. Now, not only do you have to finish the heist, but you also have to survive. Along the way, you'll face monsters with unique abilities and weaknesses. Your main objective is to break into the vault and steal the treasure, but to do that, you'll need to find fuses scattered around the map. Luckily, you'll have your trusty thief tools, a crowbar and a hacking device, to help you break through doors, safes, and security systems. And of course, steal as many valuables as you can to increase your final payout.
Pulling off a heist alone, never a good idea. And that's especially true in Dark Hours, a game clearly built around multiplayer mechanics. This is obvious from how certain monsters behave. Some are almost impossible to deal with in single player. For example, one enemy is a small parasite that latches onto your face until it kills you, unless a teammate saves you by stunning it with the crowbar. Having friends with you also means you can be revived if you go down after a nasty encounter. Reviving isn't instant though. You'll have to find a defibrillator, charge it, and then use it on your fallen teammate to wake them up from their coma. There's also a cool twist to the stealing mechanics. While there's a shared bag in the main hall where everyone's loot goes, and the earnings are split equally, you can choose to keep some stolen items in your own backpack. But beware, other players can search your backpack when you're not looking, and steal from you. This adds a fun little Among Us style twist to the game. Yes, it's co-op, but trust no one. Hacking safes or doors is also designed for teamwork. One player reads the code while the other inputs it in a short minigame. And for some chaotic fun, yes, you can knock out your friends with the crowbar or push them around, often leading to accidental and hilarious deaths.
The best part of Dark Hours is definitely its dark, creepy atmosphere that keeps you on edge from start to finish. The game is still in early access, but the gameplay feels smooth and visually it looks really good. The environments are detailed and well designed, with maps that are intricate but never overwhelming. Secret passages and shortcuts connect key areas, and every monster has its own unique behavior and counter strategy, often requiring specific items you can buy or find around the museum.
Right now, the biggest downside is the lack of content. There are only 2 playable maps, and while they have different themes, they feel very similar in structure. Even though they're procedurally generated, it still feels like you're in the same place over and over. The items you steal are always the same, and there's currently only one game mode. Once you've learned where to look for the fuses, the exit key, and how to access the vault, you've basically seen it all. Some monsters also feel pretty unbalanced, with a few being ridiculously hard to deal with, even in a full group. This can make certain matches drag on way too long or become frustrating rather than fun. For example, one monster is blind but hears every little noise including your voice, meaning you can't talk to your teammates for most of the match. This forces super slow gameplay that kills the pacing. Also, we didn't love the fact that items bought from the store are single use and disappear after each heist, especially since you have no way of knowing which monster you'll be facing. This often leads to wasting money on useless gear you'll need to rebuy for the next run, and the prices feel pretty steep compared to how much you actually earn per game.
Dark Hours supports online co-op only and is currently available only on PC. The price feels fair considering the game's quality, even though it's still lacking in content. The servers work perfectly. We didn't experience any issues during our play sessions.
Dark Hours is an original co-op horror game that blends the satisfying stealing mechanics of Thief Simulator with the scary atmosphere of horror games like Phasmophobia. And it's a mix that works surprisingly well, delivering a fun and terrifying experience even if the content is still a bit limited.
That's why our final rating is 4 multiplayer shields out of 5. A score that could easily become 5 out of 5 if the developers, who have been very active so far, keep their promises and continue adding new content like monsters and maps. The multiplayer mechanics are incredibly fun and the game shows tons of potential.
And that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and hit the notification bell so you'll always stay up to date with the latest multiplayer games to play with your friends. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Game on.